Yeah, we could totally make money in the urine business.
Yeah, I think the urine business is really a viable business these days. People pay a lot for urine, and insurance companies pay even more for urine.
Exactly.
What do they do with the urine that makes it so valuable?
They test it.
I see.
Yeah. Hey, you know what this is?
What's this?
This is the V2V podcast, episode number 50.
Yikes!
Woohoo!
Biddy.
Yeah. And so there have been some people that know about what we're doing here, and it was suggested that episode 50 should be really super great because it's a milestone.
Yeah, totally.
So I want to make this one really super awesomely great.
Okay.
So I figured the way to do that would be to go back to our V2V Bible study.
Yes.
Yes, because, okay, so we did Genesis.
Yeah.
And then we did Exodus.
Yeah.
And the next book of the Bible is Leviticus, which is fantastic. So we can do a little bit of commentary and just do an examination of what the Old Testament is all about, and then kind of translate that into modern terms so that people can understand how they should be following along in the Bible.
Okay.
All right. So we start off with basically a summary of chapters 1 through 9. And so God gives detailed instructions for performing ritualistic animal sacrifices. Such bloody rituals must be important to God, judging from the number of times that he repeats their instructions. Indeed, the entire first 9 chapters of Leviticus can be summarized as follows. Get an animal, kill it, sprinkle the blood around, cut the dead animal into pieces, and burn it for a sweet savor unto the Lord. Yeah. I know, isn't that great?
Yeah, I feel the warm sense of, incoming good food when I sacrifice my animals to the good Lord.
He must really enjoy the sweet smell of burning animal, I would imagine.
God likes that smell.
He does like it.
He rejoices in it.
It's sweet. When you are making your animal sacrifices, be sure to remember that all the fat is the Lord's, because God loves blood and guts, but most especially fat, and he doesn't like to share. He doesn't like to share. That's chapter 3, verse 16. The fat belongs to God.
Yeah.
Also, be careful when you eat during these animal sacrifices. Don't eat fat or blood. These are for God, and again, he doesn't like to share. Chapter 7, verses 18 to 27. If you want to follow along, I'll reference the chapter and verse too. But yeah, don't eat the fat or the blood, because those are God's. Bad. Okay. Next, God gives instructions for, quote, wave offerings. That's W-A-V-E. I don't know if you're, and heave offerings. He says these offerings are to be made perpetually by a statute forever. So the question is, have you made your heave offering today?
No.
There's still time. That's chapter 7, verses 30 to 36.
What is that, though? Like, just
it's not clear. No.
Oh, so
wave offering.
We're supposed to interpret it. So
yeah,
is that taking a shit?
Or maybe puking? Deceiving? I don't know. Yeah. But do that. Make sure you do that forever. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Moses a little bit. Moses does it all for God. First, he kills an animal.
Yeah.
He wipes the blood on Aaron's ears, thumbs, and big toes, which is pretty awesome. Then he sprinkles blood around about and waves the guts before the Lord. And finally, he burns the whole mess for a sweet savor before the Lord. Chapter 8, verses 14 to 32. So Moses has this down. He's even putting a little blood on the ear and the toe for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta have.
And the thumbs. Like, I don't know who's doing that kind of thing today, but I guess they should be.
Well, if they don't, they're not real Christians.
That's true. Oh, here's a good one. This one like blew my mind. 4-legged fowls are abominations. Huh?
Yeah.
4-legged fowls. Yeah, that's my 4-legged chicken out there. It's an abomination. It's got 4 legs. What?
I call him Pete. His name's
4-legged
Pete.
duck.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
I don't understand what a 4-legged bird is. By the way, if you want to look at that reference, it's chapter 11, verse 20. So just so. And be sure to watch out for those other flying, creeping things which have 4 feet. God gets pretty technical with this stuff. I don't know if he means like 4-legged insects. You think that since God made the insects and so many of them, there are like several million species of insects, that he would know how many legs they have.
I would think so.
Usually they have 6.
Right.
But so watch out for those other flying, creeping things which have 4 feet. Chapter 11, verse 23. This is important. Don't touch any dead creeping things. Chapter 11, verse 31. Don't do it. You see a dead creeping thing on the ground? Don't touch it.
But, like, if it's dead, why would it be creeping?
Well, maybe it was creeping before and then died. I mean, that would be very strange if it was still kept creeping.
Well, wouldn't it be a creeping dead thing? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dead creeping thing.
I don't know, man.
There's more about creeping things, by the way. So, here's a quote for you. Every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth shall be an abomination. That's really one of my favorite passages. Chapter 11, verse 41. It's just so cool. Like, I'm going to read it again because it's so great.
Yeah.
Every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth shall be an abomination.
Yes.
What creeping things creepeth? Like a lizard? A grasshopper? They don't really creep.
Yeah. Travis's hand?
It kind of creep. Yeah. It creepeth upon Travis's hand creepeth upon the young lady's thigh.
Ooh.
It does.
Yeah. Is that an abomination?
Not according to the Bible, so he's safe.
Right, okay.
But also, ye shall not make yourselves abominable with any creeping thing that creepeth. Any creeping thing that creepeth. So you wouldn't want to associate yourself with Travis's creeping hand in any sense, even because it's creeping. It's creepeth. Chapter 11, verse 43. Okay, all right. I think we're done with the animal stuff, that it looks like. Okay, this next passage tells you what to do if you get your seed of copulation on yourself, your clothes, or your partner. Thank God this is in the Bible. It's I'm going to leave it open because I want people to look this up. It's chapter 15, verses 16 to 18, and verse 32. So, if you want to know what to do, if you get your seed of copulation on yourself, your clothes, or your partner, look that up.
Okay.
Right. There's some more sprinkling of the blood and burning of the fat for a sweet savor unto the Lord. Again, chapter 17, verse 6. Oh, here's some good advice. Don't uncover the nakedness of any of your relatives or neighbors. So just ask them to keep their clothes on when you're around. You don't want to...
Yeah, because
right.
Seeing any of that is too much.
It's too much. I mean,
yeah,
especially your neighbors.
Yeah.
Chapter 18, verse 6 to 18 and 20. Also, thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness as long as she is apart for her uncleanliness. Now, what that means is don't even look at a menstruating woman. Don't even approach her.
Is that what you got from it? Wow.
It is what I got from it.
That's interesting. See, I got something different from it.
Oh.
I got, don't look at the crazy woman who's homeless taking off her clothes in Walmart.
No, well, apparently that's okay, according to the Bible. As long as she's not on her period. She's on her period.
Or your neighbor. Right.
Or your neighbor. Right, or your neighbor. But I guess the random naked woman in Walmart who's homeless and also dirty, but not menstruating, is cool.
Right.
Chapter 18, verse 19. We're coming to the home stretch on this book here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's exciting. If you lie with your wife and your mother-in-law, then all three of you must be burned to death. So, wow, that's pretty heavy.
So you really shouldn't fuck your wife's mom? So you shouldn't turn to your wife and say, I fucked your mom?
Well, I guess if you don't fuck your wife, instead fuck her mom, that's cool. But don't do both.
Right.
Because then all three of you will be burned to death. Even though it's no fault of your wife that you've done this with her mother, she also will be burned to death.
Of course.
Of course. Well, it only makes sense that's how, that's the law.
Justice. Yeah.
It's also justice.
Well.
Chapter 20, verse 14 on that one.
Yeah.
I would really encourage everyone to look this stuff up because it sounds like we're making it up.
Yeah.
Handicapped people cannot approach the altar of God. They would profane it. So, I don't know how deep that goes. If you have a limp, maybe, I don't know, handicapped in what sense. But if you're fucked up in some way, and maybe you're in a wheelchair, you cannot approach the altar of God. Right. He doesn't want you anywhere near it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead.
I don't think anyone I don't think anyone who's handicapped should be allowed anywhere near that thing. Fuck that.
Well, God said so, and he's pretty good reason.
Yeah.
You know, they would profane it. It'd be like it'd be like saying, "Hey, God, fuck off! I'm rolling up on my wheelchair," and people are like, "Oh my gosh!" Like the disrespect is so great.
Yeah.
My guess would be that person would also be burned alive. Yeah. So that's chapter 21, verses 16 to 23, and the final passage we're looking at today in Leviticus is, so God describes the torments that he has planned for those who displease him. It's the usual stuff, plagues, burning fevers that will consume the eyes, etc. But he reserves the worst for the little children. He says, "Ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it. I will send wild beasts among you, which shall rob you of your children, and ye shall eat the flesh of your sons and daughters. But if you humble your uncircumcised heart, God won't do any of these nasty things to you. It's your choice." Yeah, your enemies will eat your seed.
Yeah.
That's a punishment.
I always make my enemies eat my cum. Yeah.
And what about the wild beasts who will rob you of your children?
No, I don't fuck with them, but yeah.
And then the next part is that you shall eat the flesh of your sons and daughters. The Hungry Games. In fact, that's what this is based on.
Yeah.
It's a biblical story. See, I didn't even realize that until I just read this. That the new Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, The Hungry Games, is a religious thing. Right.
And what he was really trying to tell you was the story of God. You know?
Right. And that's cool. Like, that makes me feel a whole lot better about this upcoming movie of his.
Me too.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. And that final chapter and verses, chapter 26, verses 16 through 41, all about the torments, the plagues, the eating of the children, the eating of the seed, and all of that stuff, and the beasts, wild beasts, too. So there you go. There's a little summary of the book of Leviticus, and okay, now we've gone through Genesis, Exodus, and Leviticus, and I want to see what the book of Numbers has to offer. Yeah, you ready?
Yeah, go on then.
Oh, all right. So we start off with 2 of Aaron's sons are killed by God for offering strange fire before the Lord. Now, Aaron is Moses' brother, by the way, for those who don't know. But his sons are killed by God for offering strange fire before the Lord. Chapter 3, verse 4. Now, it doesn't explain what strange fire is, but I assume that it's probably not something related to the burning bush. Or maybe it could be.
Yeah.
I think Lindsay Lohan is going to portray a biblical character in her next movie. She is, in fact, going to star as the burning bush.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Hope she shows it.
Well, I think you'd have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that's the name of your character, then it would be a real disappointment.
It would be real bummed if we don't see that burning bush, man. Fuck, I want to see that burning bush.
Yeah, it talks too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most burning bushes don't talk, but hers definitely does. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's cool. It's special.
Yeah. It's Marcus.
So,
yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I'm just so excited to go on. God tells the people to expel from camp every leper every leper, everyone that hath an issue, and whoever is defiled by the dead. So by God's instructions, the sick and abandoned and left to suffer and die alone. Let me read this. So God tells people to expel from camp every leper, everyone that hath an issue, and whoever is defiled by the dead. So the sick are abandoned and left to suffer and die alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's chapter 5, verses 1 through 4.
Well, that's why they shouldn't come to the altar. Those fucking sick, man. Fuck their sicknesses, man. If you're sick, you should die alone.
Get it? Like, you should, not only that, but you should, like, kick them out. Like,
yeah.
And just get rid of them. Like, get out of here, leper, or the person with an issue.
Yeah.
Get out of here. That would make the world a much, like, better place, I think. That if you didn't have to deal with sick people, like, just make them go away.
I agree.
It would save a lot on healthcare costs, I think, too.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. The Bible's awesome.
That's fucking great, man.
So the next thing is the law of jealousies. This should be pretty good. If a man suspects his wife of being unfaithful, he reports it to the priest. The priest then makes her drink some bitter water. If she is guilty, the water makes her thigh rot and her belly swell. If she's innocent, there's no harm done. The woman is free and will conceive seed. In any case, the man shall be guiltless from iniquity, and this woman shall bear her iniquity. So, basically what this is saying is, if you think your wife is being unfaithful, tell the priest, he'll give her some poison to drink. Yeah. And if she gets sick, she's guilty. If she doesn't get sick, then she's innocent. But either way, the dude has, like, he is free and clear of any wrongdoing.
Of course.
Of course. That is, of course. That is chapter 5, verses 11 through 31. Then we have killing more animals to satisfy a bloodthirsty God. Chapter 6, verses 10 through 20. It's pretty normal.
Gotta keep slaying those things, man. Gotta keep killing them.
Exactly.
God needs that. He's unhappy if you don't kill him.
So this is a bit about complaining. So, and when the people complained, it displeased the Lord, and the Lord heard it. Because he had his hearing aid on that day, and his anger was kindled, and the fire of the Lord burnt among them and consumed them. So God burned the complainers alive to teach them a lesson. Yeah. Chapter 11, verse 1 and 2. God promises to give them flesh to eat, not just for a few days, but for a whole month until it comes out of your nostrils and it be loathsome to you. Yuck. So, I think what was going on there is the people were like, we need meat. Like, we need food, God. Like, and he's all, you want meat? You want flesh? I'm going to give it to you for a whole month, and so much that it's going to, like, come out of your nose.
Yeah.
Disgusting. That'll teach him.
He's not bitter, is he? He's not bitter at all, this God.
No, he's giving them everything they want. It's, in fact, so much of it that they find it disgusting.
Yeah.
Yuck.
And then they won't want it, so he doesn't have to give it anymore, so he can go on, doing other things like listening to people complaining. And
savoring the sweet smell of burning animals.
And waiting for the fat and blood.
Right, because that's his. Don't.
Yeah. Don't fuck with him with that. Yeah.
Don't. That's chapter 11, verse 20, by the way, about the gross eating of the meat. So, if any soul sins through ignorance, Well, that's a weird phrase because I don't understand how someone can sin through ignorance.
Right.
Because I think you have to know that an action is wrong for it to be sinful, I guess. But if you do happen to sin through ignorance, you can be forgiven by God if you kill some animals.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to approach the altar of God in my wheelchair.
I better go.
I wasn't aware of that. I better go kill an animal, and then it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's chapter 15, verses 27 through 30. Next, God shows us how to make new friends by saying, "Oh my God, he's hilarious." He says, "The stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death."
Yeah.
So if there's a stranger that's approaching you, kill him. Kill the stranger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that might be one of the verses that's used regarding immigrants, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Chapter 18, verse 7. Here's a good one. For impaling the interracial couple, God rewards Phineas and his son with the everlasting priesthood.
Wow.
So Phineas and his son sound like, black dude, white chick, right? And they're like, no.
So they
shoved a spear through both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then God's like, good job, you guys are priests forever.
Yeah.
Yes. Chapter 25, verses 10 through 13. This is a pretty good Bible study.
Oh, it's brilliant, man. I'm fitting the word of God right now, man. Fuck.
I feel it. Religion is poison.
Yeah.
Okay. If men make vows, then God expects them to keep them. Makes sense. But a woman cannot make a vow unless it is allowed by her husband or father. If it is allowed, then she must keep it. But even so, she's not responsible. Her husband or father is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're like, okay, you can promise you're going to show up at church. I don't know what kind of promise they'd be making, but any promise that the woman makes first needs to be allowed.
Yeah, I mean, like if I'm getting married, I want the father to fucking pay for it, man. Fuck. Yeah.
Right. So that's allowing a vow. And then if the wife doesn't keep it, then it's not her fault because she's incapable.
Right.
Women are just incapable of keeping a vow unless they're given permission. And even if they mess it up, it's still not their fault because they're stupid.
Of course.
That's chapter 30, verses 3 through 16. And then the final passage that we're looking at in the book of Numbers is, under God's direction, Moses, his army, defeats the Midianites. They kill all of the adult males, but they take the women and children captive.
Yeah.
When Moses learns that they left some alive, he angrily says, "Have you saved all the women alive? Kill every male among the little ones, meaning the kids, and kill every woman that hath known man by lying with him. But all the women and children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves." So they went back and did as Moses and presumably God instructed, killing everyone except for the virgins. And in this way, they got 32,000 virgins.
Wow.
And even God got some of the booty, literally, including the virgins. They even gave some of the virgins to God.
Nice. Did they burn them and save their fats and bloods for him?
No, they kept them alive and raped them.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. On God's instructions. That's how it worked. That's a lot. 32,000 virgins is a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of hymens.
Yeah. So that was chapter 31, verses 1 through 54. It's quite a long passage. There's a big war, and they're killing everybody, and they're killing the women who have had sex, and they're keeping the kids, and then they're killing the male kids, and they're keeping the young women, and they're beating little girls, and all for themselves and God. So that's how that ends. And then we have the final book of the Bible that we're looking at today, and it's the book of Deuteronomy. And God's really laying down the law in this chapter of the Old Testament, and also he's pissed. So this should be exciting. It took the Israelites 40 years to travel from Egypt to Canaan, yet such a journey, even at that time, would have taken no more than a few weeks. Like you could walk in like a week or so, a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But they were wandering around for 40 years. Wow.
That's some good drugs, man. That's some fucking good drugs, man. Fuck, man.
It is.
Hey, man, is the stage over here? No, man, it's down this way. Oh, okay, rock and roll, man, rock and roll. Hey, have you seen the stage, man? It's down that way, to the left, and then to the right, and up the stairs. Okay, rock and roll, man, rock and roll. Hey, man, you see the stage, man? No, you're completely in the wrong place, man. Oh, rock and roll, man.
Yes. So you can look that up about their journey in the book of Deuteronomy in chapters 2, verse 7, in chapter 8, verse 2, and in chapter 29, verse 5. That's where you find that stuff. Next up, the hand of the Lord was against them to destroy them from among the host until they were consumed. So what that means is that God killed all the Israelite soldiers slowly. It took him 38 years to kill them all, but he finally got the job done.
Wow.
Yeah. Chapter 2, verses 14 through 16. There's a lot, so I'm going to kind of like speed through this stuff a bit, unless there's something really exciting. Og, the king of the giants, was a tall man, even by NBA standards. His bed measured 9 by 4 cubits, and that it would be 13.5 feet long and 6 feet wide.
Wow.
It's just a little tidbit, I guess. Big beds.
Yeah.
Chapter 3, verse 11. If someone makes an image of anything, like a bird or a flower, then God will destroy the entire nation. What? Okay. That's chapter 4, verses 25 and 26. God, by his own admission, is a jealous God who unjustly punishes great-grandchildren for the failings of their long-dead ancestors. Yeah.
Wow.
Chapter 5, verse 9. Those who do as God says will never be infertile, and neither will their cows, and will never get sick. God will send infertility and disease to the other guys. So long as you follow the rules, you're going to be fine. So those people who, like, you catch a cold and it's like you should be probably burned alive. Or, you don't have kids, also probably burned alive. Chapter 7, verse 14 and 15. The Israelites' clothing didn't wear out while wandering around in the desert for 40 years. And God even made the children's shoes grow with their feet so they wouldn't need new ones. That's cool.
But
that would solve a lot of problems if God would do that again. Like,
well, he has. You get blisters.
Yeah. Can you imagine buying shoes as a kid and like you only ever need one pair of shoes, like a baby, and then they just keep growing along with your feet?
Wow.
Everyone would be walking around in those giant baby shoes.
Yeah.
you know those little baby shoes. Those are at the height of fashion, right? Those little round white baby shoes. Oh my God. What is going on? Chapter 8, verse 4. Also, God makes people wealthy or poor. That's His doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chapter 8, verses 17 and 18. So you can look at that. If you're feeling rich, God is doing that. If you're poor, God is also doing that. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's some good advice from God. This is great advice. Circumcise the foreskin of your heart. What? I don't understand.
Yeah.
That sounds really painful too, whatever that means.
Really, really painful, and a lifetime of not having feelings in a certain place.
I wonder if that's what it means, like cut off the sensitive part, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Indeed. Little analysis there. Chapter 10, verse 16. Okay, prophets and dreamers are to be executed if they say or dream the wrong things.
Huh.
It's not clear what the wrong things are, but I suppose that the followers of God would be able to determine that.
Yeah, I guess God is the judge, and God is the judge through whoever judges, and whoever judges is the judge.
Right. Execute them.
When I listen to this part of the Bible, I can only think of Judge Dredd and Sylvester Stallone and his lips.
Oh.
Like, Sylvester Stallone's lips in Judge Dredd, because he wears, this helmet thing, and his lips are just really discolored and strange, and don't look like part of his body anymore. They look like part of something else's body, which they probably are by this point.
Do you have a lip double?
If he got... If he has a lip double, it's a monkey with an orangutan butt or something, you know.
Right. Interesting. Maybe they use the orangutan butt as the lip double.
I think so. I think they saw it a few times.
Oh, by the way, that prophets and dreamers passage is chapter 13, verses 1 through 5. Moving on, if you hear of a city where another god is worshipped, then destroy everyone in the city, even the cattle, and burn it down. So I'm just thinking, watch out Salt Lake, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're coming for your cattle, and we're going to burn you down. Yeah.
I mean, you're just going to destroy Salt Lake City, apparently, because they do, like, worship, I guess, what would be considered another god, a different god than the God in the Old Testament, I think. I'm not sure about that, but
no, they don't actually. They worship the Christian deity.
Same God. Okay.
It's done differently.
Right. Oh, well, maybe Salt Lake is off the hook then.
I think so.
Good. Okay. All right. You're okay, Mormons. You're safe. But chapter 13, verses 12 through 16. This is some more good advice. Don't eat any dead animals that you find lying around, but it's okay to give it to strangers or sell it to foreigners. So, like, if you see roadkill, right, don't eat it, but go ahead and give it away or sell it to people you don't like.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, chapter 14, verse 21. Chapter 15, verses 12 through 17 give instructions for buying your brother. Yeah. If you ever want to know, like, the correct way, the godly way to purchase your brother, read that.
Yeah.
Kill everyone who has religious beliefs that are different from your own. Yeah, that's real.
Everyone should think like me now. Now.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And if you see, this is interesting because that's often equated with Islam, and like they're like, no, they want to like murder everyone that isn't Muslim.
Yeah.
You know, but wait a minute, it's right here in the Bible. Kill everyone who has religious beliefs that are different from your own. And you can absolutely look that up. Chapter 17, verses 2 through 7. Again, false prophets are to be executed. How do you know who's a false prophet? By whether or not the predictions come true. So in this case, I'm going to say, watch out, Jehovah's Witnesses. They make a lot of predictions about the end of the world. And they keep them true. So,
that's good.
False prophet, execute them.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
Well, God said so. Like, and that's the tricky part. You know, it's just, these aren't ideas that people are coming up with, you know, on their own.
Yeah, this is the God's word.
That's right.
And notice how I'm calling him the God. You know, like the Batman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, here's some good advice. Maybe for, like, you know, strolling around on the boardwalk in Venice, perhaps, because it's summertime and there's a lot of women out there. So if you see a pretty woman among the captives and would like her for a wife, then just bring her home and go in unto her. If you see a pretty woman among the captives and would like her for a wife, then just bring her home and go in unto her.
Yeah, don't ask any questions. Go in unto her.
Later, if you decide you don't like her, you can let her go.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, it says captives, but I wonder if that would apply to any pretty woman that you see.
Probably. I liked it.
So for more, to get more clarity, you can read chapter 21, verse 11 through 14 there. Here's some advice for maybe people who are interested in sending their kids to a wilderness camp or therapeutic boarding school. Here's another option according to the Bible. So, if you have a stubborn and rebellious son, then you and the other men in your neighborhood shall stone him with stones that he die. That would solve the problem immediately. Save you a lot of money too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Terrible. But it's terrible, but it also is very efficient. Like,
and it's
holy,
I'm not, God damn it, it's holy.
I'm not doing my homework. I'm watching TV and I'm playing video games. And you're like, okay, call up the neighbors and we're like, we got a stoning to do. Wow. Chapter 21, verses 18 to 21. If you want to know how to properly stone your son to death. Hang on the trees the bodies of those who are accursed of God, because they make nice, smelly decoration.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chapter 21, verse 22. If a betrothed virgin is raped in the city and doesn't cry out loud enough, then the men of the city shall stone her to death.
No, absolutely. That's what you get after getting raped in the city.
So basically, that's what it's saying is, if you have a girlfriend, she's, you know, promised to you she's going to be your wife, and she's raped but doesn't cry out loud enough, then kill her. Right.
Yeah.
That is chapter 22, verses 23 and 24. And also, if a man rapes an unbetrothed virgin, he must pay her father 50 shekels of silver and then marry her.
Yeah.
Right. So this is a little section is all about basically the rules of raping.
Right.
Right. And you can find that passage in chapter 22, verses 28 and 29. There's a few more here. This is it's really interesting. I didn't. Okay, so God won't let bastards attend church. Neither can the sons or daughters of bastards, even to the 10th generation. So if you plan to attend church next Sunday, be ready to prove that your genitals are intact, and don't forget your birth certificate and genealogical records for at least the last 10 generations. Don't laugh. This stuff is important to God. Chapter 23, verse 2. Right. Oh, here's some pooping news. So God gives instructions for defecating. He says to carefully cover up all the feces, for the Lord walketh in the midst of thy camp. You wouldn't want the divine foot to step in your shit with you, basically. That's right. Yeah, it makes sense. That's pretty practical advice. Can you imagine how embarrassing it would be if you just pooped on the ground and God stepped in it?
Yeah.
So embarrassing. So embarrassing. Chapter 23, verses 12 to 14. Okay, usury is wrong, except when lending to strangers, and it's okay. So don't charge interest on money that you loan, except if you're, lending to people that you don't know, and that's fine. That's kind of the way we operate today.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. That's chapter 23, verse 20. If a man dies before his wife has a child, then the widow must marry her husband's brother, whether she likes him or not, and whether she wants to or not.
Yeah.
Chapter 25, verse 5. Yeah, so if you're married, you die, you got a wife, she's going to marry your brother, whether she can't say anything about it, that's the deal.
Yeah.
Also, cursed be he that lieth with his father's wife, because he uncovereth his father's skirt. Why? So how does having sex with the father's wife uncover the father's skirt? And my guess is that it's because the father owns his wife, so the offense is against him and not her. You see how that goes?
Yeah.
Right, so if you have a father, you have sex with your father's wife, which is strange, then you've uncovered the father's skirt. Because he owns her skirt. It's his skirt, not hers.
That makes sense, yeah.
It makes perfect sense. Chapter 27, verse 20, and if you don't obey all of the laws that are given in the Old Testament, God will shower you with the curses that are given in the next 52 verses. And that is chapter 28, verse 16 to 68. There's a bunch of curses that will be showered upon you if you don't obey all the laws. There's too many to even mention, but there's a lot of them.
I'm sure glad we're not mentioning all of them.
Me too. They're just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Cursed shalt be in the city, and cursed shalt. Sometimes it's hard to. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. I guess you'll be cursed just about anywhere you go. That's really difficult to say, but nonetheless, you're going to be cursed.
Cursed. Yeah.
Yes. Chapter 28, verse 16. So basically, that was kind of like a precursor to all of the curses that will be placed upon you, regardless of whether you're in the city or the field or, I don't know, wherever you are. It's going to happen. So when God gets mad, watch out. He'll starve you to death, burn you with fire, and send vicious beasts to devour you. He'll destroy both the young man and the virgin, the suckling also with the man of gray hair. Not even the helpless and innocent are spared by this psychotic God. Yeah.
Wow.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chapter 32, verses 21 to 26, and God also says, I kill, I wound, I will make my arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh. I think someone should take his sword and arrows away until he's feeling better. He's so upset. Man.
Wow.
Yeah, chapter 32, verses 39 to 43. There's a couple more. We're wrapping this up. Thank God. Joseph's horns are like the horns of a unicorn. Okay. So this is confusing because he says horns, and it's unicorn, not a duocorn. And shouldn't that be a unihorn? And was Joseph the only one with horns? I'm so confused. Why does Joseph have horns?
Maybe he's horny.
He is, but it's so confusing. Do other people have horns also?
I think everyone's horny. Yeah.
They're horny like a unicorn. They're horny like a unihorn.
Sure.
Hey, nice horn. Hey, nice corn you got there.
Hey.
What? Oh, your horn, unicorn. I like your corn. It's not a corn, it's a horn. But you're a unicorn, right? Yeah. Nice corn. Chapter 33, verse 17. And finally, Moses, the alleged author of the Pentateuch, which is these books of the Bible, these first 5 books, describes his own death and burial. And that's a neat trick. And Moses did it. Chapter 34, verse 5. And that indeed is the end of the V2V Bible study, the books of Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. We made it.
Yeah, I'm completely godded out, man. I got my God today, dude. I feel godly.
Indeed. Here's some more God for you then. Okay? All right. So.
Oh, God.
All right. So here's something important that was reported yesterday, and it is that cigarettes and cans of beer are not appropriate as funeral gifts. A priest tells his parishioners in a newsletter. He says, bringing things such as a can of beer, a packet of cigarettes, a remote control, a mobile phone, or a football jersey does not tell us anything uplifting about the person who has died. Surely items such as a flower, a family photograph, a prayer book, or rosary reveals far more about the person who has died and the loss he or she is to the family who grieved. So.
Wait, so dead people don't want cigarettes and they don't want fucking beer?
No, they want a flower.
No, hold on a second.
They want a prayer book so they can read prayers when they're dead.
Yeah. That's what they want.
Is that when someone brings a prayer book or a family photograph to a funeral, it tells me a lot about the person who has died. Much less than a remote control or a phone or a football jersey.
Yeah.
Or a can of beer. Packet of cigarettes. It tells you that the guy smoked.
Yeah. Or that, one of his friends used to come over and they'd have a smoke.
It sounds great. It sounds like totally the right thing to bring, but maybe this priest is just way out of touch, which also makes sense.
Yeah.
Bring a flower instead. This is an Irish priest, by the way, which even makes even less sense that he would be saying that.
Yikes.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's, I think we're done with the God thing today.
Oh, thank God. It's a lot of God.
It's a lot of God.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think about this though. So a landlord recently claimed that a tenant hid a 10-ton rock from him.
Okay, so I have a few questions about this.
Right.
First of all,
go ahead.
The moving of this rock took a lot of work. Where was the landlord during that time? Second of all, where do you put it?
Okay, so he claimed that his tenant owed him like $5,000 for work on the garden, including the removal of a huge rock. Now, he claimed the rock, estimated at around 8 to 10 tons, had not been there when he bought the property. But the tenant produced photos showing it was there in 2016. So the landlord wasn't convinced, and he believed that the tenant hired a crane to remove the rock when he viewed the property and then put it back when he bought it. So that's, so he claimed that she got a crane and removed it to hide it from him and then put it back.
Wow.
That's quite a prank. Yeah. Very cool.
That's some work, man. That's some power.
You just have to admire it. Like, how could you couldn't even be mad. Like, you spent all that money hiring a crane to like hide a rock and then put it back.
I'd be flattered.
Wow. Okay, so all right. I'm deciding that we're not going to do the lady who lost her hands and legs to an infection from puppy kisses. So we're just going to leave it at that. That's
okay. But what about the guy who drove the car?
Oh, yeah.
Stole the car?
Yes. So this is in Australia. So a man who turned up to court on charges of illegally using a motor vehicle has been arrested for allegedly driving there in another stolen car.
That's just like brilliant. That's so brilliant. Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
So the crazy thing is that when he showed up to court on the stolen car charges in the stolen car, he was they let him go, and he's supposed to show up to reappear in court again like the next day. So it makes you wonder if he's going to steal another car to show up for the second court date.
Yeah.
And they'll just keep adding on stolen car charges, and like he'll just keep coming back.
Yeah.
That's ballsy. That's pretty cool. I like that guy.
I like him too, actually. He's my friend.
He's totally your friend. He showed up with a woman, and they were both arrested. So he's actually even adding to other people who are getting charged with stealing vehicles as he continues to steal vehicles. It's so great.
It's brilliant.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And, and finally, because it's our 50th show, the last item is that, apparently men are avoiding using reusable shopping bags so they won't look gay. Oh my God, Wedge. So apparently there was some research done on this too, and that at Penn State University, and they found that traditional gender roles are causing some men to ignore their responsibilities to the environment.
Oh my God, man!
There's this idea that environmentally friendly tasks are perceived as gendered because it's not manly enough to take a bag to the store.
This is ridiculous.
Wow.
So,
yeah, it reflects a tendency to see environmentalism as feminine. And all the people were rated as more feminine than masculine, regardless of the behaviors they did. The participants whose behaviors conformed to their gender were seen as more heterosexual than those who did not.
Right. Okay.
That's ridiculous.
It's pretty bad.
Like, I don't understand how. I just don't get it. Is it like these guys think of the bag as like a purse? Because I don't know, maybe it has flowers on it or something.
Or it's the texture it looks a certain way to them. It looks like a woman's dress or something. I don't know.
And you're being like conscientious, you know, and caring about stuff. Like, I'm just gonna buy a bag. I'm not gonna take a bag. It's so gay. Taking a bag is gay. Oh my God.
The environment needs my help. Fuck the environment. I want to be a man. I don't want to look gay.
Yeah.
God,
yeah. So
that's
so bad. Man, that's just so much about our fucked up culture.
Yeah, man.
And like it also is like going from, you know, this ridiculous stuff in the Bible to these things, like nothing's changed, I guess, really. People are still just doing the most ridiculous shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, man. Episode 50.
Episode 50.
Hell yeah. Not bad, man.
Not bad. I hope people enjoy the Bible talk.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll hang in there, but it is funny, and we are breaking it down for you. We're trying to give you a feel for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to separate these out, too, so people can hear them in, like, in clips for each book, too, if they don't want to, like, go through, like, all of the Bible stuff at once. Because it's a lot to go through.
Yeah.
Like, I could tell near the end we didn't even want to go on.
I was dying.
Probably after like the first one, we're like, oh, we're really going to do 2 more of these?
I could do 15 minutes, but like past that, I start to really lose focus in it all.
Right, because it's all this like same craziness over and over again.
It's just madness and it's mean.
It's also so mean. It's so filled with hatred and meanness.
Mean to disabled people, it's mean to women, it's mean to fucking everyone. Anyone who's sick, it's mean. You have to be perfect or you're just bad in God's eyes.
Are you tapping on something?
I am, sorry, my fault.
It was like, it was adding some dramatic effect, though. It's like, tap, 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 tap. No, but I mean, I guess that's the point. Even talking about it makes you that like filled with anxiety. Like you just want to like tap on shit.
Yeah.
To soothe yourself. Yes. I'm tapping on stuff too now. Can you hear me tapping?
Yeah, I can hear you tapping.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Oh, I'll tap too. Huh?
Yeah, we'll both tap.
Yeah.
Someone's going to get really mad about this. Why was there tapping at the end of your podcast?
No one's going to make it this far, Marcus. No one's going to make it this far. Don't worry. But okay.
I would be super surprised if someone made it this far. But it is episode 50, so they might do it just because, too. To hear it all the way through. Somebody who is into torturing themselves.
Right. There you go.
Because there are people like that out there, for sure. Like, they're like, oh, sure. I'm just gonna do it and so I can, like, just feel worse about myself. I'm listening to the V2V podcast and then feel worse. Yes. All right.
All right, man.
Okay, yeah, we gotta stop. This is like getting super ridiculous now.
Yeah.
Okay, episode 50. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Bye.
Bye.